71% of consumers say that they want their banks to have sustainable green practices and are actually, they would recommend a bank based on the sustainable practices. Visa is a purpose-led company. For us, it is extremely important to adopt sustainable practices in everything we do. We believe in being inclusive, and we fundamentally believe economies that include everyone uplift everyone. We are in a position where we have more than 4 billion Visa cards across the world. On the other side, we have more than 100 million merchants in our ecosystem. If you look at the spans, these are individuals and organizations that deeply, deeply also care about sustainability. 77% of consumers that we've surveyed believe that it is our role to ensure that we have sustainable practices that are better for the planet. We believe that in our role, in our position, the center of this ecosystem, it is our responsibility to make sure that we promote sustainable practices and create a more sustainable future for tomorrow. So we see increasingly consumers across the world are becoming more and more interested, aware, and wanting to do something about sustainable practices. And this is important because while awareness is the first step and it's essential, really what is even more important is to do something about it. And when we surveyed consumers, and we surveyed close to 2,000 consumers across the GCC region, what we have found is consumers not only deeply care about sustainability, they are doing things about it. The number one thing that consumers do when they think of sustainable practices is reduce the use of paper. More than 80% of consumers say that's the number one thing that they do. Taking cue from them, when we look at the world, we also digitize payments. We move away from cash payments to digital payments that are more sustainable for the future. So that's the first thing we do. The second thing, again, if you look at the consumers, what they ask for is to have more sustainable products and services. So more sustainable offerings, so be it food, be it clothing, you name it. They want, about 71% of consumers want that. What we are doing in line with that is we are making sure we have the right products and the right services to allow consumers to be able to do that. For example, our cards are now sustainably produced. We have the ability to create completely organic or sustainable cards or reusable or up plastic, you name it, right? But we have the ability to create those and we're rolling those out. Digital cards by their very nature tend to be more sustainable. So that's the first thing we do, create products that are sustainable. Not only that, we're actually creating services that allow the consumers to be more sustainable. So we have very recently launched a service with Mashruq Bank, which allows consumers to have visibility into what their spend is and the carbon footprint of their spend. And not only have it, so what does that mean? So if I go to the supermarket and I buy something, I will be able to look at the Mashruq app and be able to say, what was the carbon footprint of what I just purchased? And not only that, with time, we will be able to offset and make corrections for it if we choose to. So there's this whole ecosystem of providing the consumer with the visibility and the ability to do something about it that we're creating. And then the third thing that we're doing in that space is partnerships. So we're very proud of our partnership with Emirates Nature on looking at various different elements on preserving natural habitats and on creating the right ecosystem and the right environment to, again, promote sustainable practices for the future. So I think there's a lot of things to be very excited about in this study. There are, it's very telling to see that the consumers care about it, and not only that the consumers care, but also that they expect their businesses and those that they do business with to care. 71% of consumers say that they want their banks to have sustainable green practices and they would recommend a bank based on the sustainable practices. So that is something that's very heartening to see, that it's not only something that they care about, but they expect others to care. The other thing that I thought was very interesting and very encouraging is if you look across the spectrum, while everybody cares, the youth care a lot more. And as the youth grow up and as they become the leaders and the champions of tomorrow, they will take the sustainability practices and where they are today and hopefully turbocharge them so that together we can have a more sustainable future.